So there are several drawings, engravings of caricatures of Joseph Smith that were done from life, and as I'm working on a project and trying to give references and finding out who really did each drawing, I found out some new things. So I'm just going to share a few things that I found. And I'm going to show you the links, share the links, everything. And so this is one drawing that is really, just going to add a new layer on top of here, just 1 second. So that I can draw over these. So this drawing is really interesting. So there were a couple drawings done in 1843, a year before Joseph Smith died. You're seeing his hairstyles changed quite a bit because in 1842 it's brush forward but kind of pops up, whereas we're seeing from the trial in Springfield of 1843. I'll just kind of show you where I'm finding this. So they're referencing that from this book at page 133, which is this page. This looks a little bit different, so I'm not positive about the artist, but either way, these are just engravings, so it's kind of unknown, but like 1852 is about when this book was published, so you can get this whole digital book online. I'll give a link to that, and you can see this engraving that looks a little bit different than this one. This one, you can see more expression, it's just a little bit better drawing, and so that's why I'm analyzing that one right here. And so on this layer, I'm just going to kind of show you, definitely, you're just seeing his hair, that it's really brushed forward. I mean, you even have hair from here coming up like that. And so you do see indications of sort of that comb forward, but sort of more to this side. That's pretty much what's going on here. So yeah, I'm just going to get rid of those. Just going to put that back up here. Okay, so there's that drawing. And then there's this other one. It's sort of showing again, his hair is parted on the side and brushed over, and this is the trial of 1843. And so you're just seeing they're really showing these ears. It's very similar to another picture. So this is a caricature. And so I just took a screenshot of the photographs with this my phone. This is the Journal of Joseph Smith, the print version by the Joseph Smith papers. They're saying it's Benjamin West in 1843. And so they reference, I'll give a link here. So they got permissions from zoom out. Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library. So the Joseph Smith papers in the printed version reference that. So this book that is photographing, so it is a sketch, they're saying, from life of Joseph Smith in 1843. So his hair is combed, he has a side part, combed over, combed forward, and you're really seeing his hairline probably starts about right there. Okay, you're seeing hair is coming forward like that. Okay. So again, back to my picture. I'm really thinking that comb forward by 1844, I mean, you're seeing that side part about right there. You're still seeing some hair right here. That he definitely just decided to not do the comb forward anymore and just cut it off, you know. But I was showing someone this picture, just a guy, and asking what he thought about it. I didn't give him any information, didn't talk about provenance, didn't talk about the research or anything supporting it, just that, yeah, I have this photo that's of Joseph Smith, what do you think about it? And he just, for like 5 minutes, just went on and on, knowing nothing, that he was so sure it had to be Oliver Cowdery, not Joseph Smith, because Joseph Smith didn't have a receding hairline. And I just said, because of this picture, Wait, is this why? Because in this picture, oh, you know, yeah, you're seeing hair. It's really thick. And so this picture was September of 1842. So who is right about the hairline? Because you also have Sutcliffe Maudsley showing him with hair that he doesn't have this much hair to do this bouffant, huge, brushed back hairstyle. So this is September by Rogers. Rogers did this. So Rogers is showing him with a lot of hair, but in June, so September, he has a ton of hair. He has a lot more hair than he did in June of 1842. And so I think that definitely puts Rogers as being just not quite accurate. And so this is also just from Joseph Smith's journal. So the Church History Department did the Joseph Smith papers. And so they have found that really bouffant, thick hair was painted from life by David Rogers in 1842. But then also the Church History Department, which is based in Salt Lake City, they have all these artistic drawings of Joseph Smith that were done when? June of 1842 is when Joseph Smith sat for a drawing of his profile to be placed on a lithograph of the map. But since he didn't write about how many times Maudsley drew him, which was a lot, this is him from, and Maudsley just made him look so different. Just see how different Maudsley drew him here. Huge bald spot right there on the side of his head, as opposed to like here, where his hair was more brushed forward, and maybe his hair did look different that day. But Levi Hancock did write in his journal that Joseph Smith showed him where the mob had pulled out his hair and it didn't grow back. So in 1842, his hair is pulled out, doesn't grow back. And so here you got, these are 1842, 10 years later after the mobbing. He's mayor. He's posing so many times for Sutcliffe Maudsley in the same year. But it's June, and then Rogers does a painting who's a little more advanced of an artist, and it is better art. You know, he did a lot better at this. But drawing, it's a little bit higher quality than Maudsley's, but he took liberties for sure. You don't grow and have a fuller head of hair, so he's able to brush his hair back and bouffant it, whereas he can't do that in June of 1842. So again, he's just so much less hair at this point. Just really can't brush it all the way forward. I mean, he's has to brush it forward, not back, if that makes sense. It was receded all the way back to there. So, yeah, and I think by 1843, he's more doing the side part. And then also just other things to kind of, I've noticed from this drawing, are his collar, which is pretty cool. And I'm just thinking the last years of his life, he starts doing a different hairstyle. He's not, I mean, this is definitely not Elvis Presley brushed back. Like his hair has to be brushed forward in 1843, according to Maudsley, according to this, I guess, unknown artist that did an engraving of him. But again, they say that it's from life, from that trial in 1843. So, kind of like, well, sorry. And it just seems to be a very emotional, knee-jerk reaction from like men who just don't want to, can't imagine Joseph Smith having, receding hairline at all. It just can't be. He just can't. It's just so funny to me that guys are just so critical of this picture of someone not having a lot of hair. And he even said that he thought it had to be Oliver Cowdery. Has to be all over. Joseph can't have less hair. I just, because we all imagine him like in the RLDS painting here, where he just has huge bouffant hair that's brushed straight up and back. But, Rogers painting him with more hair than he had in June, it just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, he had a receding hairline. He just did. So, anyway, I'm just getting more of the links and references on my website as I work on the project. And have a